Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to my Blu-ray slash DVD library tour. And this, for the moment, will be the last one. It's the last DVDs and Blu-rays that I have sort of easily accessible here. And there are more, but a few Blu-rays, but mostly other DVDs. You've seen, well, if you've been watching, there's some old videos that I did before I sort of broke everything down, took the case, took them out of the cases and put them in sleeves. I guess it was last year sometime. Yeah, probably about, no, maybe 2 years ago now. Almost 2 years ago. Yeah, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. And then I have a few other sort of tucked in places that I can't access at the moment. But anyway, let's get to these. This is the Charlie Chaplin collection. It's got all his features, I should say. That's the word I was thinking of. And this is done by Fusion Media. By the looks of it, yeah, it's Fusion Media. It's in two sort of digipack fold-outs. It doesn't have any supplementary material to this. I think they've used the same transfers, well, they upscaled them, I guess, to Blu-ray as the MK editions. And I still have those on DVD because Chaplin is a big favorite of mine. But this includes The Kid, 1921, A Woman of Paris, 1923, The Gold Rush, the 1942 version, because he redid it in 1942 with him narrating it. I don't like that one as much as the original Gold Rush, which is also on there as a supplement, or it was on the DVDs, so I'm assuming it is on here as well. I actually haven't looked closely at this. And the reason why it's done for the 1942 one, because this collection has the films as Charles Chaplin wanted them, his final sort of stamp of approval on them, hence the 1942 version. And then 1928, The Circus, and 1931, City Lights. That is a fabulous film. I saw that in Liverpool with the Liverpool Orchestra, live orchestra with Carl Davis conducting a number of years ago now. Modern Times, 1936, his last silent, but there's a few sound bits in it. And The Great Dictator, 1940, Monsieur Verdoux, 1947. That was based on an idea by Orson Welles, or Orson Welles came up with the idea. Orson Welles wanted to direct Chaplin, and this he really wanted to direct Chaplin, but Chaplin bought the idea and then did the script and directed himself. And then 1952, Limelight with Claire Bloom. That's one of my favorites of his as well. It's very sentimental in many ways, but Claire Bloom, it's sort of her debut in a sense, because Chaplin sort of discovered her, in quotation marks. Then 1957, The King of New York is sort of last one. It's interesting, but it's not so good. And then Chaplin Review, 1959. It's a bunch of his shorter earlier comedies, but it was put together as Chaplin Review. And then as an extra, there's a couple other short sort of featurettes, I guess. A Dog's Life, 1918, Soldier Arms, 1918, and The Pilgrim, 1923. As I say, the MK DVD set has some small booklets with it that doesn't. And I don't know if they're ever going to come out with something more, which it'd be nice if they did. Let's just get rid of the box, the big box sets here, first of all. And this I've mentioned already. Oh no, this one I haven't. This is Louis Fiod, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's three of his, or actually two. Yeah, two of his serials. They call it Les Serials Noirs. But it's, the serials are Fantomas and Les Vampires. And this is put out by Gomont. Gomont has a series. I'd love to get the first few volumes, especially the first one. It's going out of print. They were limited edition. They're anywhere from 20 to 40 DVDs, excuse me, in each. But the first one is early days of Gomont, right up to like All the Silence. A lot of what's her name? Agnes Claire, Guy Blanche, female director and writer, and a couple of Fiod as well. I wish they'd put out a few other of the Fiod serials, and this does have English subtitles in, just barely, but not on the extras, and it's got a booklet, but the booklet, of course, is all in French. And the Gomont series, there's 10 volumes, so there's, I don't know, there's 300 or more, maybe 400, more than 400, it could be 500 or 600 DVDs throughout. It's the 120 years of Gomont, which would be kind of neat, but again, they don't. But apparently there is subtitles on the first set, or some of the shorts have, and some of the films have subtitles, but not all of them. But I haven't been able to verify all that. And they're probably like, I wouldn't mind getting some of the volume 2 and volume 3, which goes up to, I think, 1950. I think 55 in the two other volumes, but chances are there's no subtitles in them, and that's the one thing that's infuriating with France. They will not. They, like, you see people's reviews, and if Google translates it on there, and they will rail, like, there'll be a whole bunch of things saying, how dare they put English subtitles on, this is our film, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, they haven't taken away the French. It's just a supplement. It's just something that if you want it, you can get it in different languages, and they don't like that, or at least a lot of them are, so they don't do it anymore. Oh well. And this is well, I did mention this one. This is Larue the Wheel. It got a bit dinged during transit, shipping it over. This I bought last year. Again, this was this and J'accuse were sort of pre-orders. Yeah, they got dinged up a bit. They don't pack stuff very well. And this has a booklet as well, but in French, and it's got the movies split over 3 Blu-rays, and there are supplements, but again, no English subtitles on the supplements or the reference material that's in there, which is again infuriating, but thankfully they have put subtitles on the film itself. Now, let's go here. Okay, this is Park Circus. They're another one that put out the Charles Chaplin Park Circus for a while, and I don't know if they did them in Blu-ray. They might have split them up. A few things are coming out. Criterion in the States, just going back to Chaplin, have done City Lights and a few others, I think, in Blu-ray in the States. But here it's they are split up, but you can buy the box set. But anyway, this is Park Circus. This is The Fan of the Opera. It's a 2-disc Ultimate Edition. Yeah, remember I should have the I think BFI did it as well. I'm gonna have to look back. I can't remember now. But this has a new audio commentary, which is always nice, by Dr. John Marsalis. And it's got it's got a PDF of reproduction of the 1925 souvenir program and script. This one's still sealed because I haven't actually watched it yet or even looked at it. This is by the Imperial War Museum, and it's the Battle of Anchor and the advance of the tanks. It's just a fabulous sort of documentary type, but filmed at the time, World War One, and great it's great cinematography and lighting at nighttime as well. And this is the Battle of the Somme, which is Imperial War Museum as well. This is really good. I had a sneak preview of this before it actually came out, and this two different, I think, festivals, sneak previews of them at festivals, and this is fabulous too. And this has the booklet with it, Imperial War Museum, which, by the way, is on the site of, just as an aside, site of the Bedlam insane asylum that was there. So fitting, actually, a war museum. And here's another version of the Battle of the Somme. This was done by Flashback. I picked this one up because when I was looking for it again, because I had sold it, I was looking for this. I was looking for this one, but this came up, and because this was directly from Imperial War Museum, I bought this. But at the same time, this popped up as a used copy for like $1.99 or something like that, and it's perfect condition. So I thought, yeah, I'll get that for the booklet and so forth, which might be a little different, which I haven't even compared. This is great film, but I just wish there were more extras on it. It just feels like light as a feather. It's something they're doing with cases now. They're getting rid of the plastic. But I couldn't get it. I missed out on this sort of special Blu-ray edition that had a booklet. But this does have a good commentary for it. It's King Vidor's The Big Parade, and it was a long time because I've been waiting years or decades to actually see this properly, and they just finally put it out. I don't even know if it's available anymore or not. A lot of these things just disappear. This is a very good maker of Blu-rays, but they do disappear. I used to have all of their stuff, and they're still putting out a few things, and there's a few I want to get, but there's many that I'd missed. They put out the Abel Gantz, Larue, and Jacques. I still have, and that was in DVD. I still have. I'm not sure whether it's Larue or Jacques, but the prices go sky high. But anyway, it's called Flicker Alley, is the name of the place, and this is Children of Divorce, Clairbeau and Gary Cooper, and they've taken their name Flicker Alley from Cecil Court in London, which currently it's a pedestrianized court, like a little thoroughfare connecting two streets. Now it's mostly, or it's been for a long time, mostly about 50 years, I suppose, at least, used bookshops, maps, and print shops. But prior to that, it was the place where the birth of British film was, and their offices for the filmmakers, and hence it was called Flicker Alley, and then hence Flicker Alley took their name from that. But that's Flicker Alley's an American company though. And oh, this is one I still need to get the other set. This is a Warner Archive collection of Lon Chaney. This has He Who Gets Slapped. That's Victor Seastrom. That's great. Mockery, The Monster, Mr. Wu, The Unholy Three, the 1925 version, not the sound version, and The Unholy Three, the sound version, 1930. And it's Lon Chaney. And it's got, well, I thought it did have a booklet, but it doesn't. But it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DVDs in this. This is the Ten Commandments, but it has the 1950. Is it 50? Yeah, well, whatever. The Charlton Heston version on it. But the main reason why I bought this was because it has the 1923. 1923? Yeah, 1923. Memory was working okay there, but then I wasn't sure. 1923 silent version, and that's the main reason I got this. And this is put out by, it's the premium collection. I think through HMV here. I've got quite a few of those. Yeah, this was again something that I bought recently that was used. It's I haven't actually. Ooh, that's got a bad scuff on it. Seems to play okay, but again, it was only £1 or something like that. And it's Jacques Fiod's, but it's a French version, and I haven't actually looked at it. It's by Lobster Films. This I got a while ago. Apparently one of the discs are faulty, and I'm not sure which one it is. I can't remember. But this is Flicker Alley also, and it's a steelbook of A Trip to the Moon, original 1902 colors. And I think there's been a few done after this, but this is it's got, I think it's a dual. It's a DVD and Blu-ray. But one of the discs, apparently the soundtrack doesn't work. But one of the soundtracks is atrocious. So hopefully it's that one, and I won't be missing anything. Here's Network, and this is E.A. DuPont's Moulin Rouge, about the dance club or nightclub, whatever, what have you, in Paris. And this is the silent version. Yes, it's usually thought of as a musical. So there's two other ones. There was one done in the 50s, and then a more recent one with, I think, is it Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman. But this is from 1927. This is Network, and it has no, I'm not sure if it's got a commentary on or not. No commentary. Now we get into some sort of DVD-Rs. These are, well, actually, pirate in other words, but these are not available on DVD or Blu-ray anywhere. This is the reconstruct, or what do we call it? Reconstructed and restored version of Greed by Eric von Stroheim. It's still not complete because the footage is gone, and even this footage is gone, and it's been done. It's been expanded and restored, reconstructed through stills, because there were tons of stills for this. And The only thing is this was done quite a while ago, and it still has not had a DVD or Blu-ray release. It was released on VHS tape, but as far as I know, it might have been a European, like a Spanish or something like that version that was done of this. This one is just black and white. This has been captured off of TV, TCM network. They're the ones that played it. But this doesn't have the tinting that and the colorized bits with the gold that Stroheim wanted. So this is just plainly black and white, but it is a masterful film, and it is a good, even though it is DVD R and somebody's made this up, it's still pretty good, at least on the TV I have here. Clearly not high definition though. And this is something that I've been waiting a long time to watch again as well. It's King Vidor's The Crowd. This is just fabulous. And I remember Steve Donahue mentioning something that he thought this was based on a book. As far as I know, this is not based on a book, and I thought it could make an interesting book if somebody wrote it, especially from a silent. Anyway, it was just sort of his live that he was doing from movie to books, like book versions of movies, and I thought this could be an interesting one. This is King Vidor, as I said as well, and this again is a pirate version, if you want to call it, and it's pretty good. It still looks okay, but again, as far as I know, there's been no proper DVD or Blu-ray release. As I say, I think there might be some European DVD ones, but I don't know how authorized, or they could have been just just this kind of thing, but not a DVD-R. And The Wind as well. This is another one that I'm waiting for to see, and I'd love a restored version with a whole bunch of extras, booklet and everything. It's Victor Seastrom's The Wind with Lillian Gish and Lars Hansen. It was one of a number of films that Victor Seastrom did when he went to Hollywood, and they are just fabulous. All of them are that he did. And this is a well, this could definitely be a book to film because it's based on F. Marion Crawford's The White Sister, and this is Lillian Gish as well. So that could be an interesting one to do. And yeah, then we finish that here, and these are two documentaries that are fabulous documentaries. They were part of a trilogy, and the third part I'll get to in a minute is The Unknown Chaplain, written and produced by Kevin Brownlow and David Gill. And it is fabulous. It goes through because they've got hundreds, and this is by Network, by the way. They've got hundreds and hundreds of outtakes, sort of, and how Chaplin filmed his stuff, his earlier stuff, that is. Like, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, and you could just sit there and watch this stuff. I could. Like, if they put all this stuff on Blu-ray with a commentary, I would just sit there and watch it. Even if 1,000 hours, I would do it. But this stuff is available, and it's being restored, not preserved, I guess. Not so much restored to digital sense, all of it, but this is excellent, and it's a bit of a biography of Chaplin as well, and it's narrated by James Mason, who did a lot of the Brownlow stuff. Excellent voice for this. And then the other one was Buster Keaton, Hard Act to Follow. And these were done by Network, as I say, and this is the same thing. It's written, produced, directed by David Gill and David Brownlaw, and there's 3 episodes in this, and 3 episodes, I think, in this one. and it's just a sort of a biography. And the third one was called like basically a third genius, and that was Harold Lloyd. That has not, as far as I know, ever had a release on DVD by itself. It is part of one of the Harold Lloyd, and I forget, we saw this in the Criterion one, one of this Criterion um, um, releases of Harold Lloyd. It's on there because Kevin Brondau made excellent documentaries. The amazing one is Hollywood, and that you can't get on. Apparently, it's there's copyright issues. It kept wanting to be put out on DVD, and it was set to be released almost 2 decades ago. It didn't happen, and it won't happen apparently because of copyright issues. It came out on VHS. I still have those VHS tapes in Canada. My friend has, and it came out on Laserdisc. I've got some MP, I guess no, not MP, AVIs of it, and it's excellent. But there is also he did a European. That was a 13-part history, sort of American silent film, and then later Kevin Brownlow did a 6-part, I think it was. Sadly, only all too short, but fascinating throughout. Is It's called Cinema Europe, which was fabulous. And he's done other documentaries. He's done a documentary on D.W. Griffith. That's in the I don't know if it's still available, but in the and I have the sets, or one of the sets of Kino sets of the D.W. Griffith, and he did a one on Greta Garbo that's really good. One on Miriam C. Cooper, who directed and ran RKO, but directed the original King Kong, and all sorts of stuff. And he's actually got there is a book of sort of the making of this, which is just fascinating as well. I've got that up on the shelf here. It's just a fascinating film. I mean, a book to go through. But anyway, that is my silence. The rest of my DVDs slash Blu-ray slash DVDs that are accessible at the moment. Again, any questions or concerns, just ask in the comments below, or my email, which is in the description. And just as an aside, anybody who's seen this, because this is going to go up on Tuesday evening, on Wednesday evening, I'm doing sort of a kind of a test live through StreamYard to see if I can do this. And I sort of thought the topic would be classic films. And if anybody wants to talk about that or ask questions, um, I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this, because it's just going to come, and I don't know how many people are going to be there. But anybody who has questions, do come along, and that's going to happen. I think I made a mistake in my announcement video. I said it was, but it's going to be 9 p.m. UK time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And I said 3 p.m., I think, Eastern Standard Time. That's not right. It's actually 4 p.m., and it was pointed out. But there was a bit of a time issue as well. It just defaulted whatever time it was, and I didn't change the minutes to the top of the hour. But anyway, it's going to be 9 p.m. Wednesday evening. That's March. Make sure I get the date here right. March 9th, because today is Monday. I'm recording this on Monday. So, and this will go out on the 8th, so it'll be tomorrow when you see this. And it'll be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And whatever, I think Central or whatever is 6 hours, so it'll be 3 there. And then if you're in California, it'll be 1 p.m., I think, if you're in California in Pacific Time. I think I've got that correct for America. And I'm not quite sure I forget. I think it's 9 hours. It could be, or is it 12 hours ahead that Australia is, and Asia is, I think, about 7 hours. Whatever. Figure out your. Well, actually, I think actually YouTube actually does this for you. It'll say what time it starts, whatever time zone you're in. So yeah, if go by that better than what I'm saying here. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed these. This is, I think, the 18th one, and I do have a lot more stuff. Like there was stuff that was left. I had many, like many thousands of DVDs. I had like I don't know how many, but 1,000 silents at one time, and then I had, like, and then mostly these were mostly classic films as well. I had several thousand, and then I had to sell stuff to sort of live by. So some of it really hurt because there's some that I can never get back again because they're too expensive. But thankfully, some of it's been upgraded to Blu-ray, which is perfectly fine. And it would be an excuse to get the Blu-ray. Like I say, there's only a few things that if I have in DVD that I'm willing to get the Blu-ray for, and unless there is some massive changes in the restoration, added material, and extras, which can and cannot happen. But Chaplin was one, and the Louis Brooks stuff. But there wasn't much to upgrade there at this point because they haven't done a whole lot in Blu-ray yet. But anyway, so I still have some of that left. There are a few hundred DVDs that are sort of in behind. Like there's a little space that I have here in my room that is sort of, well, you got a fireplace, so you got two sort of niches on each side, and one of them I sort of use that for storage and put a bookcase in front of it, and I've got a stack of DVDs in there. And I think that's where my serials are, the 1930s and 40s serials. Um, they are the serials that came out from Alpha Video, so they're rough, but they're still watchable on a small TV, like a real high definition TV. They're not going to look that good, but they're quite interesting. I always like the serials. But anyway, I've got all those, and again, like, whenever I can access those, there'll be something that I'll add through, and I've got other like miscellaneous stuff that is sort of didn't sell at the time when I was reselling stuff on Amazon. And then there's a few other things like I haven't shown. I've talked about Babylon 5. I do have the Babylon 5 DVD set, but it's just sort of on a shelf. Or it's on one of these things, but there's stuff in front of it which I can't reach. So there's a number of other things out there and around, and eventually I will get to them and show them. But anyway, until then, and if you're interested, as I'm talking now, it'll be tomorrow night. Check out my live, and let's talk about some classic films. Take care, BookTube.